Hello, good evening everyone. Welcome, Choombas, to our Cyberpunk Red session. I am Simon at Wandering DM, and I will be GMing tonight's game of Cyberpunk in the Dark Future. Before we go in to the game, I would just like to very quickly thank all of our sponsors here at Wandering DM, starting with Magen Press, makers of 5th edition D&D supplements. You can check them out at store.magenpress.com. Use code WanderingDM to get 15% off. You can also check Found Familiar, makers of great coffee. Foundfamiliar.com is where you want to go, and you can put code WanderingDM to get 10% off. By the way, they now offer their coffee in 5-pound bags, which is just awesome. Our other sponsor, of course, are Talsorian Games, the makers of Cyberpunk Red. You will want to check them out. They are releasing new books this year for the Witcher franchise, and also for I believe there's a supplement for Cyberpunk coming up, but I don't know how much I can talk about it just yet. That said, you might also want to check Roll20, the platform that we use here for all of our games on Wandering DM. It's at roll20.net, and you know, if you want to play games online with your friends and everything during this panini, this is the place to go. Without further ado, let's go around the table, introduce the cast for tonight's game. We will begin with the person to my left, and we'll go down the rows. So let's start with Deirdre. Hi, who are you and who are you playing?
Oh, hey, that's me. Hey, all, you know me. I'm at Deirdre on Twitter, or Praxagorth as me before. You can see me around on Twitch. And I get to play Trins, the friendly neighborhood mechanic who will totally make it go to 11, has totally responsible decision-making plans, and is just really nice and likes people, and might be dating one of the other characters in this apartment building. Oh, also, I think I've figured out how to add an extra NOS system to the van.
We'll see about that. up next, we have our newcomer to this group. I should stop saying that because it's been a few weeks, but hi, Hannah, how are you?
I'm okay. Hi, I am Hannah, Hanimation Art on Twitter, Hanimation Studios everywhere else. And I play Black Cat, the fixer who seems able to fix things for everyone but herself.
And then we have Nino. Hi, how are you doing?
How's it going? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns, and in this game I play Jimenez, the rocker boy by way of pantomime and professional wrestling.
And on our second column, we are missing one player tonight, but she will be back very soon. So we'll start with the first player on top of the column, Chris. Chris, hi, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm over here a little stunned that pantomime is officially part of X's rocker boy persona. So I'm not too shocked, but it seemed more like the hidden secret, the hidden gem of it all. Anyway, my name is Chris Geary, and you can tonight you'll find me playing Dr. Frost, aka Mr. White, the trauma team surgeon, and net runner, maybe.
And last but not least, we have Rin. Hi, Rin. How are you, and who are you playing?
Hey, I'm Rin. I'm playing Jinx, crazy ass nomad, who's in a lot of trouble apparently because supposedly she did something that she didn't do. Am I not muted? Okay. Yeah, something like that.
So, speaking of doing things that you didn't do, last week the group went to the small clinic that was near the Slammer, this violent bar in South Night City, the place where, you know, all the cybered up individuals go to have a good time and to smash some shit. Two of the Raffenshiv members that had infiltrated Night City were found at the bar and beaten up after an altercation. They were sent to a Ripper dock nearby, and while they were recuperating, the group entered and began questioning the two Raffenshivs after a little bit of heavy-handed interrogation, coupled with surgical, I'm not gonna say torture, but
Heavy-handed, was that supposed to be like a pun or something?
well, yeah, I try to do something about the fact that you paralyzed the hand of one of these two Raffenshivs. You asked a few questions and learned that there was indeed a sort of bounty on Jinx. In fact, in one of the Raffenshiv's possession, you had these sort of handmade wanted posters. And there were 3 names on them, one of which was crossed off, and no, 3 of which were not crossed off, sorry. The rest were part of the Warden family. The 3 names, Jinx recognized 2 of them. They were, of course, herself, her actual name. Shit, what's your first name again, Jinx?
Meg.
Yeah. Meg Warden and Jeffrey Warden were still uncrossed. And then a third person by the name of Makoto was yet to have been crossed off. This is the only name that Jinx did not recognize. You also learned that there was indeed a bounty on her, that basically the entire clan, or Warden family, in fact, was accused of having sold out their clan to a corporation, basically undermining the work that the nomads have been doing for ages, and going against everything that they stood for. And they were mostly all killed, but a few of them survived. And the Raffen Shiv finally found out where they were, and Dog Killer himself apparently is hiding somewhere on Mortal Rock, down by the bay, and has instructed his gang to find the whereabouts of Jinx, of Jeffrey Warden, aka Zolo's Shade, and Makoto, and end their lives. And so we are going to go back to our game, and we're gonna fast forward the clock a little so that the group is back at the apartment after the interrogation. You have your info. For good measure, you took what the Raffen Shiv had in their satchel, so that nobody would look into it. And
did I get a name of the? Did I get a name of the hack that was running that place?
Oh, the not the bed ragged, disheveled guy, the doctor himself.
Correct.
Yes. So they go by the street name Stitches.
Okay.
And you didn't meet them. You know, remember they were in the like surgery room, working and everything. But Stitches is the name of the doc that operates at that clinic. It's been open for 7 months now.
Okay.
You don't know their actual name, since this is, after all, a street clinic, and you don't recall anyone having this name legally in your field. So it's definitely probably someone who lost their license, or who had to learn, on the field or whatever. Probably not an actual doctor. Well, looking at how they treat their patients here, definitely not someone who is very much concerned by the life and survivability of their patients.
Mm-hmm.
But you indeed have a name.
Okay.
So back at the apartment,
we have a deck to look into, and clone. Yes, no. Was that taken care of? Or not a deck, a laptop to clone?
Yeah, the laptop from Mr. Cook's apartment. The laptop was, sorry, I believe, Trins had a few things done to the laptop. By the time you get back to the apartment, the hard drive has been cloned, so you have a copy of whatever's on the laptop, so you can put it back where it belongs, and leave it for the NCPD to pick it up when they get the warrant that Reno forced them to get into the apartment.
That's what I needed to know.
And that's where we are. All 5 of you are, we'll say 5 with Reno. Trins is still in her apartment at this moment, but you find yourselves in the parking garage of your apartment, getting out of the car. Nobody has followed you. You haven't seen any Raffenshiv colors. Anyone suspiciously eyeing your apartment. No NCPD squad cars either has followed you back home. So here you stand. What do you do?
Well, I mean, at least we know where he is.
Oh, did we take the Raffenshir's vehicle, or did we leave it there?
Hmm.
You gonna drive that back, Jinx?
Yeah, we'll say I did. Give some scrap metal for trends.
And also, maybe there's some clues on it about where they've been, what they're up to, so on and so forth.
I'll message trends and be like, I got a present for you.
Yay, presents! I like presents.
It's in the basement. Come see.
Okay. And she will just come down. There are presents. She's happy. She is easy.
So yeah, you can do what you want with this. I mean, salvage whatever. Just make sure. I don't think there'll be any tracking or anything on it, but if you can find out where it's been, where something, I don't know, clues. Like the doc
So you
said.
want me to strip it? Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right then. And she will go and pull out her tools and start breaking this car down into its component parts.
Yeah, there's no. We'll go over not in detail, but we'll gloss over that scene. But there's no like GPS tracker inside the car. The onboard system is very basic. It's not made to be linked by a smart link, so it's your good old car that you have to use your hands to drive. It's been repaired and jury-rigged countless times. You don't believe that any of the pieces that you find on it at the moment actually belong to the original model at all. Most of the engine and the entire, in fact, everything that you find under the hood is caked in sand. The car makes a hell of a noise when you drive it. Both probably as an intimidation factor, but also because the person driving it wasn't necessarily the best at keeping their car top-notch. Seems that whoever these two Raffenshiv members were less nomad and more just highway robbers. It still is a good amount of scrap metal.
Yep.
You would find too that the windows of the car are all bulletproof glass, so that if you ever need to replace something, not on the on the RV, yes, but not the front windshield, if only because the size doesn't match, but it would match the one of the van that you were working on too.
The whole highway robber thing, that's pretty normal for Raffenshiv, though. They're more
Yes.
criminal than they are nomad.
Yeah,
They're raiders.
but they
For-
would
Sorry.
they would still take care of their car.
So even they would do more than what these guys did.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder they got the asses kicked so easy.
And so that, is going to take if Trince wants to dismantle the entire car tonight, it's gonna take you a few hours, like probably the whole night, if you want to start dismantling everything.
At some point,
right
she
away.
might like bug Merc to come help her, just because an extra set of hands is always useful.
Mhm.
But yeah, she's stripping this car, and she's also, because these guys says that they belong to the Raffin shift, she's looking for any smugglers' holds, anything like that might be in there. Probably nothing real useful, but
There are smuggling compartments under the seats, and there's even one sort of like hooked to the muffler. Right, like a few feet under the car, past the the end of the exhaust pipe.
Okay, so there's city smugglers. Good to know.
But they're all empty.
It's fine. The components is important. I'll take the car apart.
Since that's gonna take a bit of time, unless anyone has anything that they want to do, to the sound of blowtorches and drills and wrenches downstairs in the garage, we would fade to black and fast forward to the next morning. But if there's anything that you want to do during the night after you come back from the clinic, we'll go through that first before we jump to the next part of our game.
I'd dig through the whatchamacallit, the laptop, the cloned hard drive.
So it's it's not a work computer. It really is just a personal computer.
Mm-hmm.
The files that were on them, the person who owned it, Mr. Cook, wasn't spying on anyone per se, but he was observing you. All of you. No one in particular. Not that he was keeping tabs on anyone. He was actually writing what appears to be a written documentary. Not a novel, but a written account of the lives of the down on their luck members of society living in the combat zone. What life is like, what is the sense of community that you all have, and how interesting and entertaining it was to see that despite your living conditions and everything, you were still able to maintain a semblance of normalcy. His entire document is just filled with this thinly veiled, snobbish attitude, where this, not holier than thou, but clearly he saw all of you as lesser people. Like animals that one would observe and study. And that was his fun. Then a big part of his hard drive is dedicated to porn. Most of them are either videos that he downloaded or brain dances that he has saved. They're all just about the same sort of style. It's all workplace related. Often as, especially for the brain dances, as having the brain dancer be, the figure of authority in a workplace. And everyone else submitting to them.
I will delete that section.
And what else is there on there? There's a few like you can find traces of a few documents, probably emails that were drafted, but never sent. While he wasn't necessarily at work, he often wrote to a person by the name of Mr. Kosh.
Okay.
Kosch. And asking this person for extensions to the project. Without ever naming anything, it seemed that Cook was working with this Mr. Kosh, and that things weren't going well. And Cook was basically begging Kosh to not fire him and to try to see his point of view and how what he was working on was important. And it's through that you discover that Cook worked for Biotechnica. That essentially he was, always, this close to getting fired. But his successes kept him inside the company, but always on the verge of getting kicked out. Those were drafts, so they were never sent. So you don't think that Mr. Kosh has ever seen those information.
Okay. Does it look like it's possibly valuable information?
If Cook was still alive, yes.
But since he's dead, no.
But since he's dead, no. Because having been alive, you could have probably make him, blackmail him through the use of those emails. Because it would be very easy for anyone to just, copy them and send them to that Kosh person.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt, as much as his, writing feels like he's a better person than everyone, and that he's like this alpha corpo slumming it with the rest of the peasantry of Night City.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, his emails are practically like night and day.
Gotcha.
So
fantasy in one pen, so to speak, and reality in the other.
Mm-hmm. He was very much not the big string pulling puppet master that he would have styled himself to be.
Is there any information on someone named Kosh over at Biotechnica?
If you look at because the listing of Biotechnica employees is public records.
Yeah.
So you can just go on the net,
Mm-hmm.
go on their space, and in the About Us page and find information. Kosh is the director of R&D.
And what's the full name of Kosh?
First name Piotr. Piotr.
Piotr. Okay. Kosh. Kosh.
Kosch.
SCH. Director
of R&D.
Research and Development. Biotechnica.
Yep.
Okay. If I run a quick scan on the 500 R&D projects that I have, does Kosh come up or Cook come up in any of them? Is that Cook or Pietro or Pietra? Kosh?
You mean the one that you got at
Mm-hmm.
the R&D
at the end of season 1 that I found
IEC?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. They're not.
Okay.
Not mentioned.
No, I was just
in any one
wondering.
of them.
I was wondering if they made their name on something that got sold to Militech and then got their way into
Mhm.
Biotechnica kind of thing.
No, Kosh, you would know, who's been working for Biotechnica for 20 years.
Okay.
Cook's file is no longer there.
No, of course not. And he was killed at work.
Yeah.
So, according to the cops.
Well,
anyways.
that's what the NCPD said. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he was killed at work, according to the cops, then there's no reason that they would keep him on their list. They'd know to take him down. It's not like he's hiding out or they're in the dark.
Mhm.
So, let's see. Anything of interest? Any dirt on anybody? Anything I should know?
Not on any one of you. Like I said, he wasn't spying.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like chronicling your daily lives.
Okay.
Like he talks about Jimenez going jogging in the morning. He talks about Trins being like the handy woman of the apartment. He talks about the eccentricities of some of the building inhabitants, like Jinx, who brought her motorcycle into her apartment every day. How you would rub shoulders with gangers and other criminal elements without batting an eye. And how, you know, the sound of gunfire was something common. That your lives were violent and short-lived. People came and went in the apartment, especially in the last couple of months, and it seemed entirely normal for everyone to not expect any stability in their lives. But this is all said in a tone that is very dismissive.
Oh, of course. Jackass.
Anyone else? Oh, yep.
Yep, that's it. That's
Okay.
it for me.
Anyone else with something to do tonight? So we'll skip over to the next morning. Everyone tries to sleep in as best they can. Jinx, knowing that, having an idea of who exactly is against you and who else they're going to strike is very useful. You awake the next morning with news on the TV. Good morning, Night City. Today is a sweaty 87 degrees. We're expecting rain in the late afternoon, but nothing so bad as the blood rain we got yesterday. Speaking of yesterday and blood, yesterday night was one hell of a night for the patrons over at the Afterlife. You learn about, through this news report, that there was a shootout at the Afterlife last night. The famous bar owned by ex-edge runner Roque Mendiares was the site of a massacre when a bunch of armed mercenaries, helped by people inside the bar itself, opened fire on the patrons and kidnapped one of the bartenders. They have her picture and her name. It is one woman called Makoto, no last name. She was working for Rogue as some sort of pupil or something. Everything is shrouded in mystery. Of course, Miss Mendiares declined to say anything to the news. But you see in the news report, like, these trauma team members and just regular cops pulling bodies out of the afterlife. Much of the patrons' lives were saved thanks to the intervention of 2 individuals who have declined to identify themselves, but who said rather nonchalantly that this was just another night at the afterlife. And yeah, the body count right now is at 28. They're still going through the wreckage. No one's missing, but several conflicts between trauma team and local law enforcement means that everything is going as slow as it could be.
Sort of conflicts.
Well, trauma team wants to get their customers out of there.
Oh.
The NCPD wants to identify everyone.
Gotcha.
But if the NCPD takes their time, then trauma team breaches their contract, and they don't want that, because then that would mean they're liable to get sued by the very people that they're trying to save.
Yeah. I'm more interested in these 2 individuals. They didn't go by any names, but did they have descriptions? Did they have images of them?
You see them very quickly during the during the news report. It is a...
Find the playback, pause it, rewind.
Well, yeah, like, they refuse to identify themselves, but, like, you see them in the background. Like, they haven't fled the scene or anything. Though it was at night, but you have... So you're not going to have their names, but if you have Legend Keeper up, if you want to look at their likeness, that would be Ken Parker, and another man that goes by the name of Brian.
Okay. So that's what we see. Okay.
And
yeah.
Most importantly, you also have the likeness of one Makoto. Single name, no last name. She's a young Asian American. Was dressed fairly simply when she was working. Hair propped up in a bun. Just a white tank top, dark, like charcoal colored pants with a few patches on them. She was wearing short black boots with and had on her arm a what is it again? The display, subdermal display for her agent, in fact. But that is all that is said about her. She's still presumed missing, but there was no ransom notes or anything.
I'll send a message out to the others and be like, she's the one on the one. Her name's on the wanted poster with mine and my uncle. We gotta look into her because, like, I don't know anything about her, but, like, yeah.
So were there any images of the people that abducted her?
You have to make a quick search on the net to find that. And yes, they are very much nondescript armed people. By nondescript, I mean they blended into the crowd. They didn't look any more special than the countless edge runners that visit the afterlife. No uniform, no gang colors, no affiliation, not that were readily identifiable. However, when they came in, what little footage was released by Rogue, they basically come in just, as clients, as customers. They enter the bar. Everyone is packing anyway in the afterlife. Not everyone is, wearing entirely, heavy armor jack with 500 weapons. But still, so they don't look out of place, except that a few steps after they've entered, 3 of them whip out grenade launchers, like pop-up grenade launchers, from their arms, and begin shooting in, like, all 3 corners of the club. And the moment that the grenades fly, you have a few other edge runners inside start open fire on other people. They're trying to basically clear out... That's the only identifiable thing, is they were trying to clear out a path to get to the bar, which was this, like, central island type of thing, like a circular bar with, like, a pyramid of bottles and everything in the center. And those 2 people who helped the other customers, you see them very briefly just motioning to people to go, like, behind the bar on the opposite side of where the firefight started. But that's it.
And but they do not look. Obviously, they don't look like Raph and Shiv.
Nope.
And it's way too much firepower to be wanting some sort of 25,000 bounty, because after all the ordnance that they just put on display and the number of people, that's not much. That's barely like pocket change after net that they're pulling in. So they grabbed Makoto for a different reason, in theory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm assuming everybody's seen this.
If you send out, like, your whatever you research afterwards, yes.
Sure. Does anybody else react to the news? Jinx obviously says, hey, this is the person.
The ones that actually grabbed Makoto, are we able to see their faces in the video?
While many of them are wearing, like, these soldier helmets, there is one, like, whose face is almost entirely visible. They're wearing, like, small sunglasses. You can't really get, anyway, even the video with... It is in high def, but you wouldn't be able to see, like, the color of their eyes, though most of their facial features are recognizable.
Okay, I'd like to grab that image. I'm assuming that there are video cameras elsewhere in the city.
Everywhere.
Okay, so I'd like to grab that image and any other images I can get that show facial features of this person, and I'd like to compile them and then have them sent along to see if they can compare them to any other footage captured later that night. And how much is that going to cost me to do?
So you're basically going with your with Dax?
Yes.
Okay. If you send that over to Dax, what is your... What's your fixer rank?
I believe it's a 5.
Okay.
Fixer, my roll ability
Yeah, roll ability.
is a 5, yeah.
Okay. As a level 5 operator, oh, yeah, look, this isn't asking much of him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to, well, he's going to charge you 100 eddies.
Okay.
He's basically gonna run the search, like, on a separate rig. He doesn't need to go into the net to do anything. He doesn't need to run anything. So he's like, give me the time it'll take for it to process. Maybe half a day at most.
Okay.
An entire day at worst.
Great. Awesome. I will tell the rest of the party what's going on. So that's running. And in the meantime,
Thank you, Black Hat.
I don't really know what else we could do. Maybe we could ask some of the people who were survivors from the shootout if they saw anything that maybe we missed on the cameras, or, you know, maybe.
I mean, we could take a trip down there.
I'm sure they need people to pull bullets out of, you know, walls and fix shit. Right. How common is the loadout that they were getting into the bar? The ones who actually came in to keep the. I mean, to shoot up the afterlife? Yeah. Shooting up the afterlife's a little strange. I mean, having guns in it's not. How common is what they were shooting with? The grenades. The ordnance? Yes. The ordnance itself?
You, as a fixer, without knowing exactly what they were using, but as a general rule, you will only find these type of weapons on in a night market or on the streets. A pop-up weapon implant is something that is rather expensive and not found in like your average, you know, cyberware clinic or anything like that. Because we're talking, yeah.
It takes you has to go into the hospital. You can't do that in the clinic. I can't even do. I mean, they need to do the full rig and setup.
Yeah, the arm itself you're gonna need to put into a cyber arm, and then install. So the cyber arm is one thing. Like you could have it done in a hospital, you know, through a legit mean. The pop-up grenade could have been corporal bought. Otherwise, it's a night market. They had to go through a fixer or through an exec to get that.
Okay, I'd like to shoot another message to Dax and ask him if he hears something about an upcoming night market to send us a message.
It doesn't take long for him. He just like almost instantly forwards an email, well, a message to your agent, and you receive a similar message almost at the same time of a night market being held in 2 days.
Okay, I will share that around then.
Yeah, different location. This one is. It announces also, you really don't know why, but it'll be the debut of a thing called the Taco Emporium.
Anybody I can get it for some tacos?
It's a Tuesday already.
Legitimate tacos.
And yeah, is it like real?
Yeah, I think we're Sunday right now, just to make it match.
Okay. Do we know if it's real tacos? I'm with Jimenez on this.
If you both could make it's gonna be weird, a local expert check or a streetwise check. It's gonna be a DV16.
These are very conspicuous tacos.
24.
Alright, I'm just waiting for X. Because you know, if you choose streetwise or local expert, the answer is going to be different. Yeah, you both get it. So, word on the street is that the Piranhas, a group of small-time vandals, really. They consider themselves a street gang. They are mostly high school jocks in mentality. In fact, it's the cyberpunk equivalent of frat boys. They drink beers. They loiter in parking lots and other places. They'll shake down people for money, but never, they're never actually committing big crimes, right? Like, yes, they're gonna shoot some people, but who hasn't shot someone in Night City? They will rarely... Whatever, you've heard them in other ways. Assault and battery is a misdemeanor. The thing is no one really takes them seriously. But word on the street is that they have one of the reasons why you can never completely take down the piranhas is that they have a guardian angel. An invisible man that they call the Taco Doc. Whenever they're injured, apparently, it has been seen that they will gather at or retreat at a parking lot or other abandoned location and disappear. Literally.
The Taco Doc.
What people think is that the Taco Duck is a mobile clinic that is cloaked, and that works for the piranhas. And on this, ad, let's say, this invitation to Taco Emporium, there is a picture of an old beat up, like, white van with the spring on top and, like, the taco that just rocks back and forth.
I heard he got better marketing than that recently.
None of you have ever seen a taco truck in Night City. So with your streetwise, it's easy enough to think that, like, this invisible doctor probably has something to unveil at this night market, and that's why the night market has been put up. The fixer who sent the invitation to everyone is called Lucky Catch.
Does he actually call himself Taco Doc?
I can tell you out of game that no, he does not.
No, that's
but
white.
Other people
that's
do.
White asking.
Other people do.
I think it's cool that someone would nickname him the Taco Doc. I mean, what other nickname would you give him? Other Doc?
Out.
Flip that, please.
I think that one's taken. Anyway, I just don't know that I can take someone seriously that goes by Taco Doc.
Well, he probably didn't pick it. Somebody else picked it for him.
You just don't give yourself a nickname. That's not cool.
How did anybody get their call sign?
My brother shortened my name and couldn't say it right when we were starting school.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
I'm just saying, like, call signs or whatnot are weird enough, but Taco Doc?
I mean, it's descriptive. It's useful.
If you say so. You have to.
I mean, I could think.
I have a different opinion of medical professionals.
I mean, I could also see how the usefulness of being in a taco truck would be for facilitating his business. I mean, think about the refrigerated section of, like, that you'd use for the condiments and, ingredients and everything. That'd be a perfect tool set for, a great storage case for medicines and various other things you needed to keep at certain temperatures. Decent amount of space in the back of there. You could set up a full rig for surgery. Movable.
Not really. I mean, you're talking to somebody who actually rides in a trauma team AV.
Oh, so suddenly someone's too good to be in a taco truck.
Somebody is confused as to why anyone would want to operate out of a taco truck, let alone be called the taco doc.
Your tacos?
That's unsanitary. I'm not eating tacos from a place that does surgery.
I mean, that's fair. I don't even want to be, in the same. I don't want to eat in the same room with somebody who's done surgery. But I mean, I can understand the usefulness of appropriating the vehicle, and then
So what I'm afraid of though is that we're not getting tacos. Do you hear the disappointment in my voice?
Yes. It's so obvious.
Yeah, not getting tacos is bad. We should get tacos though.
So this
Hey,
taco
can we make
emporium
them?
thing is a big catfish, is what I'm hearing. Now, catfish tacos, that could be a good little thing.
Ooh, fried.
Yeah, fried catfish. Thinner strips of it, a couple of strips in there, some, veggies, some pico.
So you're making us tacos tonight?
I don't have the ingredients for that.
Black Cat, can you get him the ingredients to make tacos tonight?
I'm sure I could.
I hear tacos tonight.
If somebody brings me the ingredients, I'm cooking.
Well, we're still gonna check out the taco doc, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's
totally.
like in 2 days,
All right.
Yeah,
right?
2 days.
The night
yeah.
market's like in 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm just really confused. That's all.
Yeah, you've got 2 days before this night market. Black Cat wanted to know when's the next, the next one. The next one's going to be in 2 days.
With the taco emporium and unveiling of Taco Doc's magnificence.
Well, they
Or
say the
whatever.
debut of Taco Emporium, whatever that's supposed to mean.
Okay.
So on that note, are we going to the afterlife? I mean, there will be a lot of cops.
Not only will there be a lot of cops, but there'll also be a lot of pissed off people.
Yeah, you don't shoot up the afterlife. That's not cool.
Obviously.
I'm more interested in where the hell Makoto went. I don't think we're going to get anything from the scene while the cops are all over it.
I mean, the one person we could talk to is Rogue. But we have to get to her. I mean, the only time I've seen her at the afterlife, because I'm at the afterlife literally every week, is a few times where she got pissed off at me because I pulled out my guns. But yeah, I would like to know where Makoto is and why she's on the list with me and my uncle.
There weren't any CCTV footage from around the area that we could get our hands on to see what vehicle they took when they left.
If there is, that is in Rogue's hands. The NCPD or the Night City Council do not have video footage around the afterlife. Someone made sure of that.
Is it possible to figure out when they was infiltrated? Was it pre or post?
Infiltrated by what?
You said there's no video footage around the afterlife of the event.
Oh, there's no video of the no video around the afterlife. Period. As in, Rogue made sure that the area surrounding her club would never, no one
Oh,
who
okay,
goes
okay.
there would be identified.
Sorry, the way you said that, it sounded like somebody had gotten into the system and taken
No,
the
no, no,
tapes.
no.
Yeah,
She made
that's why I was
sure, like,
confused, too.
years ago when she bought the place, that you can't attract edge runners into an area if the city, so the corpse, and the NCPD are aware of who's coming and going. So she made sure that no one would check. So unfortunately, if there is footage, it probably would be on her own system.
Do I know anything about Rogue other than that she owns the afterlife?
She helped blew up the Arasaka Towers 20 years ago. She is
I mean, relevant data.
the king of the fixers. She knows everything that happens in Night City. She has eyes and ears everywhere.
Then why are we worried about Makoto? If Makoto's one of hers, and she has eyes and ears everywhere, I shall find her.
I just want to know the connection between her and me and my uncle.
I agree. Does anybody have connections to Rogue to set up a meeting to find out where we could offer our services in the retrieval of said Makoto? That way, if you want to have that conversation privately, you can. And if you can't, we can always go through her.
Hey, Black Cat.
I can try to set something up. I was hoping you might have some sort of lead where I could start, but if you don't, that's fine too.
What?
I mean, I've never been thrown
Not
out of
really.
the afterlife, and I have fixed the doors twice
But-
and the soda stream 16 times.
I'm all meant where I'm supposed to find Rogue.
Oh, a lead for what? For finding Rogue?
Finding Rogue, yeah.
Oh,
A bar?
Not a clue.
her bar, I
Okay.
guess. But
Well, we've decided not to go to the bar. You want me to try and find her without first going to her bar to see if she's there?
No, we were.
not exactly. I didn't want to go snooping around the bar looking for clues.
Yeah, but if we just
That's
call
different.
her, right? We can call her and then get in, and then she might know where Makoto is, and then we could talk to her that way.
Potentially.
I'm confused. I didn't go. I'm also really kind of sleep deprived. I need more caffeine.
I got coffee in my apartment if you want it.
I said caffeine, not hot bean water.
Maybe try sleeping. Just a thought.
Might be a good idea. I can call her, or Jinx can call her. Do you think she would respond better to somebody that she knows? Or, I mean, I
as
can do
a-
it. I'm good with people.
Yeah, as a fixer, you would know, Black Cat, that Rogue is so high above your station. One of the ways you might get her attention is if someone who was big enough in Night City was to approach her, they would stand to have a better chance. Basically, the more your name has circulated, the better your chances.
That
So,
leaves
somebody who
Jimenez as a
has some
politician.
establishment in Night City, then, Maybe somebody who has run for some sort of political office.
That could work. A public persona more
Is that the
than
clue?
an incognito one.
I see.
So, like a Menez, maybe?
Jimenez, do you think you have enough pull?
Goodness, no. Unless Rogue happens to be a huge wrestling fan. I don't think that's the case, though.
That would be known through a charismatic impact check. But you could only do it if you take your chance.
Do it.
I mean, I guess I can try. Menace just looks down on his clothes. I'm like, maybe I should dress for the occasion, though.
Okay.
Are we going clubbing? Is that it? Are we dressing Jimenez like we're going clubbing? Is that it?
I mean, sure, I'm good with it.
We're going clubbing. Where?
And if clubbing is exactly, I mean, I'm not sure the club is in clubbing status right now, but
Well, you're in the morning, so normally the afterlife is... It's open, but it's not gonna have
not only
a
that, but it was also exploded.
yeah, that too.
Yeah, it's in a serious state of disrepair at the moment. But the afterlife being the afterlife, you know that Rogue is going to try to get it operational for tonight.
I mean, we could just wait for tonight. If she's gonna, she'll probably try and get it ready. So we could just go pop over tonight once everything's calmed down.
Sure. Maybe we'll do it after my show, because then, I don't know.
Yeah. After your show, no problem.
I don't know. Maybe something good will happen tonight at the show, which will grab me an extra 15 minutes of fame here and there.
And before we fast forward to tonight's show, and before we go for a short break, was there anything else anyone wanted to do this morning?
Yeah, I plan on
Work.
seeing what cameras I can find that would be the different exit points that vehicles that would carry that number of people, or a vehicle large enough to transport someone. Probably a van is what they're using. I'm going to try and track them on whatever cameras I can find.
Friends would also recommend not just looking for vans, because that's the easy way. You want to look for old American-made Crown Vic, Ford Taurus, maybe a big Chevy of some sort, something with a 3-Hoffa trunk.
Understood.
Easy to move, nondescript, nobody pays attention to them, and you shove a person in the trunk and then you close the trunk, and it's problems.
I will say go for library search, because you're going to search the net, basically search whatever is accessible. Otherwise, you could net run it, which is riskier, but will probably lead to riskier but easier, I should say.
I was planning on... I don't imagine that other businesses' CCTVs are going to be just out on a library search unless people are really bad at their security. So I was not planning on using that. But, I mean, if you want me to, I can always start there. I don't mind.
The best would be the net run.
Yeah, that was my plan, was to go that route. I just can never remember what page any of that information's on, because it doesn't go on the character sheet like anything else.
Yeah, your interface is on the character sheet. It's the last tab in it.
Oh. Okay, I never filled it out because I don't have the stats on it. You never gave me the stats on what I have.
So your rank of interface is the same rank as your
No. The other ones, like the hardware, programs, any of the stuff that came on the deck that I have.
Oh, that is true. That is true. Okay, here's what we're gonna do then.
We can go to break.
We're gonna go to break. I'll do the upkeep during break, and then when we come back, we'll start with the net run and then on to the show. That works for everyone?
Good. Sure.
All right, so we're all good?
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't have my slubs up. Okay, so we'll be back in like 5-ish minutes, and I'm also gonna get some, not cold coffee. So be right back, everyone. we still have another hour to go, so stick around. we're back. So, little montage of what's going to happen during the day, because it's a lot of net runs over a long period of time. We see Jinx driving the SUV around town, circling the block where the afterlife is located on the in the upper marina. White in the back of the van, plugged into his cyber deck. Every time you pass, you know, within 6 meters of one of the small businesses that are there. Because just to remind everyone, the upper marina at this time a year, well, this time in the timeline, is not part of the combat zone. It is a somewhat safe place. The afterlife hasn't moved yet to South Night City as it does in 2077. So you move around, you navigate around the block, slowing down just enough that White can plug in, jack in, do his things, jack out. Most of these little shops don't have a lot of floors in their net architecture. It's rather easy to just go in, check the security very quickly, jack out, and do the same. We rolled the rolls behind the scenes during break, and so here is what White has found during this montage. White, these people actually took the subway to get here. They took public transport. When they left, however, after the explosion, you don't see the explosion or anything on screen, but you do see like people running away at some point, like, from across the street of the afterlife, and when that happens, it takes a little bit of time, but some of the assailants make their way out on foot. Some actually hop into a black AV car that takes off. The ones that walk down the street quickly strip their clothes and change. You see them as they're, like, you know, jogging away, like they were part of the victims, like taking off their coat, removing gloves, keeping body armor if they have, or like undergarments, but just trying to shed as much identifying stuff as they can. Whoever they are well prepared, and they are not acting like what you or Jinx would know of the Raffenschiff. This is too much like a targeted.
This is a corporate extraction.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. Okay.
And as the sun sets on Night City, we move. And oh, 2 seconds. Wrong person. I sent a message to the wrong person in chat. Why do both of you have to have the same beginning of your first name?
Sorry.
No. It's not. You don't have to be sorry for having a name. That's normal. So yes, we found ourselves in a wrestling arena. The lights are up. I don't know if the crowd is here yet, but I know X is there.
So the crowd is there. It is the weekly flagship show. And flashing back a little bit, Jimenez and his stable got suspended for a little bit, kayfabe, because they might have sucker punched management as well as the NCW champion. And so actions needed consequences. But now they're back because story-wise, their contracts dictate that they need to appear on their shows. Otherwise, they would have to pay out Jimenez and his crew extra for keeping them benched. Whoever their contract lawyer was, he was a pretty good one. So, but you'll see they'll make their entrance, they'll walk down into the ring and stand in the center, but none of them are wearing wrestling clothes. But everyone's sort of standing back, and Jimenez has the mic, and he will cut a promo right then and there. So thank you for the warm welcome back at Night City Universe. As you might imagine, the management here did not like our state of the show address because, well, we all got suspended, which is fine. We all enjoyed our vacation here. Punch and Judy toured around Night City on a bicycle built for two, and Apollo worked on his cooking. So anyways, the thing is that management here can't really fire us, so instead they're just trying to make us as uncomfortable as they possibly can. It's really passive-aggressive corporate bullshit. But unsurprisingly, we don't have wrestling matches tonight. We are still contractually obligated to make appearances as well as cut a promo. Thing is that since they didn't want us to wrestle, which is arguably our best skill, they also told their writers not to script or write their scripts for us. They just thought that I would languish out here because they didn't believe that I could generate any decent content. Is that crazy weird? I think so. But on our little vacation, Nexus here, we huddled up and we came up with an idea. You see, one thing that Night City Wrestling hasn't done yet, and that's they haven't addressed Fiona's departure. Now, you see, most folks who depart for bigger and better things usually get a pleasant send-off as a thank you for the hard work that they did, but we'll say that Fiona left under less than auspicious circumstances. So for those of you who read the dirt sheets, you know that Fiona and I, well, we used to date. And one of the many things that she complained was that I didn't make any grand romantic gestures. The breakups were rough, but, I'm not a sour guy. Tonight, with the help of my crew, Nexus here, we're going to sing a little song for her a cappella style. So, I hope you guys enjoy it. In the evening, she's wondering what tights to wear. She puts on her makeup. She spikes her punk rock hair. And then she'll ask me, do I look all right? And I'll say, no, biatch, you look horrible tonight. Thank you, everyone. There's still a second verse, so. She abuses her power. She tried to end my career. She dresses like a hooker. And not the expensive kind. Then she got wrenched in the face and left town on a one-way flight because that's horrible that night. I'd said that biatch looked horrible tonight. Thank you, Night City. Good luck to you at GPW, Fiona. Nexus out.
And with that, your team turns about and you exit the stage to the cheers of the crowd and some very weak boos from whatever fans she still has among the NCW crowd. When you leave the ring and go back, backstage, you get a message on your agent from El Jefe. One hell of a move.
He's just going to text back. I had to do something.
Part of the new storyline, or did you go off script?
He just emotes that little chin scratching emote.
He will just reply with a question. Have you ever thought about a singing career?
Oh, goodness, no.
And yeah, the rest of the rest of the match for the evening and everything takes place. Your team, changes, leave, wishes good night to everyone. But before you get to leave the stadium tonight, X, a man in a suit comes to see you.
Like outside of the arena as I'm waiting for my ride because I can't drive myself anywhere.
No, you're still in the arena, but you're like on your way out. He's on his way in a hurry. On your way out. And you don't recognize him. He's well kept, high score in personal grooming. Wearing just a black and white 3-piece suit. Side swept hair. Doesn't look arm or anything, but says X. The bosses want to talk to you. You got a
Just
minute?
me, or and then he jerks his thumb at the rest of his crew, or all of us.
He looks at Nexus and says, I guess there's plenty of room inside. Follow me. And outside of the arena is a limousine. And you are told to get in.
I'm sorry, my girlfriend made it clear that I am not allowed to go into cars with strangers.
The window, back window of the limousine rolls down, and you see the face of the director of NCW. Says, even if that stranger signs your paycheck.
Yeah, all right, fair point. All right, you first, Apollo. You're bigger than all of us.
He hops into the limo. Like, when Apollo enters the limo, it shifts to a side just a little. With all of you inside, the director doesn't look super happy about the speech tonight. X, you're taking a stance that is detrimental to your career, you know that. The Fiona part we're good with. We didn't suspend you because of what you said against management. We suspended you because you let your girlfriend come into the ring and hit one of our performers.
Well, let's be real. I do admit that my girlfriend is a little lacking in impulse control, but you know, Fiona did take liberties in the ring.
She did, but she's not with us anymore. You still are. I can see a bright future for you. But, I thought long and hard about it before tonight. It's just when I saw what was happening, I knew I had to stay a bit over to talk it out with you, face to face, as it were. I think it'd be better for you to drop the whole, stick it to the man angle.
I mean, I think it's working pretty well looking at the response and the sales of my merch. So,
yes, but we fear that this display of wanton disrespect, of edge running nonsense is gonna start to affect my reputation, my standing, and the standing of NCW. We're not a mega corporation, you know. We're not GPW. We're one of the small fishes in the pond, you know. I'm part of the small fries. There's a small guy you're fighting for. Couldn't you, I don't know, I'm gonna talk with your agent about it, but I wanted to see what you thought first. Maybe we can, you know, turn this thing around and make X and Nexus the next golden boys and gals of NCW.
again, he looks at his crew. You know, this is all scripted, right?
How much was tonight's scripted, X?
Zero. It scripted by your writers, zero. But I think it was furthering Nexus's reputation and storyline. I mean, we're pretty good a cappella.
You want me to turn the whole league into a barbershop quartet?
Well, no, we don't look good in stripes. But I don't think there's any better villain that Night City can rally around, or at least want to see, or pay money to see get taken down, than a fictional management level. Because let's be real, sir, if you were making GPW money, you would do so in a heartbeat. And really, all I'm doing is just trying to elevate not just us, but our company as a whole, so that we can compete on the level of GPW.
I see that. And while he's thinking about what to say next, could you make X a charismatic impact check?
Sure. As soon as I find my sheet. 10.
He says, "You're brilliant, you know that? I'd been told you had worked on some of the storylines back at Club Underground. That's the name? Weren't you a
You
writer on
own
there?"
Club Underground. I mean, you don't know this, guys. Jeez.
I have a lot of. Anyway,
I'm a small fish in the big pond here. I only have 6 or 7 businesses.
we all gotta hustle. Now, I was complimenting you. Are you gonna take the compliment, or are you not gonna take it?
I'm just messing with you, but I appreciate your sentiment. Look, I kind of know what I'm doing. I think that our viewership goes up, our profile is going up. My goal is to take wrestling mainstream. Even GPW isn't mainstream yet, but I have a plan. And my plan is that I am going to represent NCW as the world heavyweight champion. And then I'm going to find my way into GPW and beat PT Magnum for his belt. So that this belt, the NCW belt, is regarded as the most prestigious title in the world. That's where I'm heading.
Interesting plan. I'm gonna see you in my office tomorrow morning. Get some good night's rest. I need to mull a few things over, but I like you. And it's true that everything you touch turns to gold so far. I got the numbers here, and he taps his temple. Probably a cyber eye with like a Chiron overlay or something. So he taps his temple and says, "Your little stunt tonight is already going viral. It's been reposted so far in 5,238 garden spaces. So, if that was you going off script for a minute and a half singing an off-key song about your ex-lover, I do believe that if you are given the time and the room, you and Nexus can actually maybe make wrestling mainstream. I mean, just a few months ago, people were shooting themselves down in the streets for some video game or something. Imagine if we could leverage that, but with wrestling. A lot less deaths, but a lot more money."
You'll figure something out.
I've been thinking about a few things. I'll send you my my draft tonight. Read it before bedtime. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Sure.
And by the time you're out of the limo, like, you've already received a message on your agent containing a Word document, if you will, from the director. It is called Top Secret: The Future of NCW.
Oh, that's nice. We have some bedtime reading.
Looking at the size of the file, It's probably a page, 2 pages tops. Like it's small. The rest of the team comes out of the car with you, and Apollo looks at you and says, I was so sure we would have gotten into more trouble than that.
Yeah. You're right. I should have let you use that pitch pipe. I think that would have just added a little extra.
Judy, before she leaves, like puts a hand on your shoulder and says, so, hope you're gonna remember us when you go up the ladder, right?
You're coming with me, guys.
I thought as much. So, what did he send you?
Oh, let me read it first, and they'll forward it.
All right. Well, I'm off to catch some sleep. See you later, guys. And she goes her way. Apollo goes his. Everyone leaves. The limo is left by this time, and you notice down the street an armored RV is coming to pick you up. You go back to the apartment, and that is, the first day of the 2 days before the night market. Did you want to try to reach out Rogue right after that at night, or did you want it to wait for the next morning?
No, I think we'll go that night.
Celebratory event at the afterlife. After party at the afterlife.
Who else from the apartment crew is going clubbing tonight?
I'm going.
Be there.
Alright, so everyone's in the RV. Are you all dressed to impress?
Trinses.
Of course.
Sure.
I'm in my nicer clothes.
Jinx is wearing jeans that only have 2 tears in them.
Exactly. And no tears in the butt this time, so
The afterlife is not as full as you would have thought. There is still a lineup outside. You notice the police tape has been torn and left lying all over the place. There is a squad car, an NCPD squad car, parked nearby. They're staring in the direction of the afterlife, and most of the people are either flipping the birds, sticking their tongues out, or shouting insults as they pass by. The bouncer at the entrance basically stops everyone, one by one. This time tonight, they're actually patting down the guests and asking questions, which is why it takes a while for you to reach the door. By the time you get to the door, the bouncer is there, a mountain of a man, bald, has a small data pad in his hand, like an enlarged agent, if you will, and one by one, he will basically ask you to tell him what type of ordnance you have on yourself, on your person tonight. What type of arms are you bringing in? Basically, they will not tolerate anything that is explosive. So if you have any explosives, let me know, because you either have to hide them, or you're gonna have to let this person know and leave them outside. Small arms are fine, for protection. But anything that is basically assault rifle, sniper rifle, shotgun is not permitted tonight. Those are gonna have to be left in the car. He doesn't give a crap about melee weapons.
Jinx has her 2 pistols. Her 2 handguns.
So he's gonna pat everyone down, make sure that you're not keeping anything illegal, and then let you all go in. The music is extremely loud inside. It doesn't, well, aside from the fact that half of the bar is in shambles, the people here are partying like nothing happened yesterday. There's a band playing on stage, kind of the same music you're hearing right now, so we're talking about some, you know, heavy punk music playing a lot of, there's a rather sizable mosh pit, that has formed. A few of the bartenders are working. In the when you come in, far end corner to the right are like tables and booths. Otherwise, the stage is to the left, the mosh pit is to the left. The immense, you know, circular bar in the middle. You have people like standing about all around you, and in the left, like far out corner, stairs to go up and an elevator to go up to the second floor. I'll remind you, the Afterlife is built out of an old morgue, so this entire building used to be an NCPD precinct before. And as such, you know, the floors are like stainless steel floors with like the old white ceramic plates all around the walls. It would look like a very strange place was it not for the LED lights running everywhere, the heavy music, the spotlights, the stroboscopes, and the impressive amount of trench coats.
So a 90s warehouse rave.
Yep.
Is this some sort of flasher convention, noting all the trench coats?
The bouncer will just not bend down, but lean down to you and says, I had to kick a streaker out the other night. Don't try me.
I mean, I'm not the one that you have to worry about. He just secretly points at Jinx, though.
He nods, and like you see him subtly type something on his agent.
Yeah, but technically, does he know me, the bouncer? Because like Jinx is there. She has her poker game every week at the Afterlife.
Oh yeah, but so do a lot of people.
Yeah, I know, but like Jinx is notorious not for streaking. She's notorious for pulling her guns out a lot.
Yeah. But if he does recognize your face, he didn't acknowledge it.
Okay. Yeah.
You're in the club. There is no sign, of course. All of you would recognize Rogue on sight. Like, her face has been plastered everywhere. We know who Rogue is. You know, if only by the wanted posters after she blew up Arasaka. So, I'll let you know if you see her, but at the moment, you do not. Oh, yeah, and I forgot. There's an impressive amount of bullet holes in the walls and the ceiling. What do y'all do?
I'm gonna go to the bar and get a drink. And ask the bartender if Rogue is in.
Bartender will reply that yes, she's upstairs. She's busy. And what do you want to drink?
I buy whiskey.
Whiskey it is. Pours you a shot, pushes it towards you, and says, do I put it on your tab?
Yep.
He pulls up his agent, types in, and you see, like, from your angle, like, your face with, like, probably, like, your payment history or whatever, and he just adds it, and he's like, you have yourself a good night.
So I'll turn around, I'll go back to the others, and I'll tell you guys that Rogue is there. Obviously always busy. So, I mean, you can try and see her.
Maybe we need some liquid courage first. What do you think? You want to drink, Black Hat?
Sure, I could always go for a drink.
Yeah. Jolt for you, Trins? He just waves his hand in front of Trins's eyes. Jolt for you?
Yes. Actually, no. I need like 4 and an espresso. And I know the espresso machine is still working because I can hear it.
Maybe you want to pace yourself a little bit.
Nope. We're at the afterlife. I'm going dancing. I need caffeine.
Just let her have the caffeine.
Sure, and then she'll just be bouncing up and down on the bed while we're trying to sleep later that night. It's cool.
I'm probably gonna be back here in 3 days to fix what the fuck they did to that soda pour. Honestly.
Grenade launchers. That's just horrible. Horrible.
And they can't hit for shit. Do you see that line through the wall and up to the ceiling? Like, dude, your target was probably somewhere over there, not in the fucking ceiling.
Maybe they were trying to bounce the grenade. I don't know.
Okay, well, that's going on. Hey, Doc, do you want something to drink?
Ooh. Can I make a bouncing grenade?
Okay. What?
One thing at a time. Let's get you the espresso first.
If I put enough springs in it.
Barkeep asks you if, do you want it lace or not?
Like, chantilly lace? What?
No, we just put a few drops of black lace in it. It gives you a kick.
Oh. Gosh, no. I just want some water. But, whatever these folks want, I'll buy.
Alright. Someone's flowing with eddies.
Just like anything?
Like one drink, okay? It's
Okay, fine.
I'm buying a round. I'm not paying for the entire night for everybody.
It's fair. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It is very nice of you.
So, what can I get you both?
Caffeine.
Just tequila for me. No lace. Thanks.
Alright. Tequila and a boring drink for the lady. And he crosses the like island, gets the coffee machine ready, comes back later with a a mug with Trince's double espresso in it, and Black Cat has a shot glass of tequila. And that is going to cost Jimenez a total of 25 eddies.
Let's go, I'll pay it.
So, I think I saw your face before. I think he points to Jimenez.
Yeah, I mean, I come here sometimes. Not as much as Jinx over here, but
Yeah, no, her I know. She's part of the poker gang. You though, I think I've seen you on the net somewhere. I feel like in one of the gardens I visit.
yeah.
Yeah, aren't you the dude who got put through a windshield by his girlfriend or something?
Ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, ex-girlfriend.
So, judging by the tone, she's your new input.
We've been dating now for like 8-9 months. Been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that video like 3 months ago.
Yeah, I mean-
that's why she put you through the windshield, man. You can't go around trying to jack in everyone that you see. You gotta, you gotta have some respect. You know what I mean?
Sure. I guess. You know, unless this is sort of, a harem anime or something. I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's cool.
But, yeah, just, enjoy yourselves tonight. If there's anything I can do for y'all, you let me know. And, otherwise, don't let the fact that we got about 42 deads last night discourage you from partying.
Yeah, actually, there is something you could do for me, man.
Hey, sure.
I need to see your boss.
Nah. Don't think that's going to be possible without high persuasion roll.
Wow, we're getting real meta here all of a sudden.
But yes, I'm going to need a persuasion or a charismatic impact check, depending on if you want to tug at his. Well, I was gonna say tug at his strings, but no. If you want to bank on your popularity, he knows of you already. It wouldn't be too hard for Jimenez to show him who you are, and try to get in that way. Or persuasion, just going by your inherent charisma.
Can it be assisted?
No, we're just gonna go straight persuasion.
That crit doesn't.
Oh,
need
wow, okay.
assistance. Look. She said she didn't want to be bothered because shit about yesterday and everything, but I mean, looking
We just
at you
really
and your-
want, we just want information.
Oh yeah, who doesn't? You know what? Gonna do you a solid. And he motions you to lean over the counter.
All right, he just nods and leans in.
If you get me the number of that badass girl in jeans over there, the one that comes for the poker games, I'll let you in with Rogue. How about that, Chum?
You know what'll really impress her?
Yeah, what?
If you tell her that you love riding bitch on motorcycles.
Okay. It's pretty cool. I'll
Yeah.
let her know when you're on your way back to... I know what, fuck it, I'm gonna take my chance. What's her number?
So bad. He will slip one of her numbers. Not the cool friends number, but the number that she'll screen.
Alright. Take the elevator. Boss is upstairs. Y'all have a good night. And like, you take about 3 steps and Jinx receives a text message saying, "Hey, I heard you got a bike. That's wicked awesome. I love riding bitch."
Jinx will just look at it, look at the group, look back and be like, really?
He just like winks and...
Oh. She'll text back. You like writing, bitch? I got you.
He looks very proud of himself and just goes back to his stuff. After this somewhat cringy interaction, this happens over text, of course, but you make your way to the elevator, right up to the 2nd floor, and when the doors open, you immediately hear the voice of Rogue Mendiaris, Queen of the Afterlife. Say, "I don't remember saying I wanted to see anyone." And you hear the cocking of a pistol. The 2nd floor is arranged like a VIP area. There are tables and booths on each side. No real room for... Well, no real dance floor, but there's room for dancing. There's a small stage, but no one's playing. The entire 2nd floor is completely soundproofed. And in the middle of it, there's like this like pit that was made into the floor, where Rogue is sitting. Next to her on the one side, 2 men. Two like highly muscular men. One of them is wearing just a sleeveless like leather vest with nothing underneath. Though you see that his muscles are strangely defined. They all have sharp angles, like he's been retrofitted with a very heavy subdermal armor, to the point where like even his cheekbones are like square. He looks like a low polygon count character in like a PlayStation 1 video game. The other one, a bit leaner, but still the arms the size of barrels, gang tattoos all on one arm. The other one is clean. The 2 of them, the 2 men, both have guns, but it's only Rogue who's pointing a gun at the elevator. She is sitting cross-legged, her legs outstretched, basically to the center of towards the center of the pit. She's wearing these like tight leather pants, a loose white and yellow sweater. Looks kind of old, type of fashion, the type of thing that was in fashion in like 2025 or 2030. Her hair is pulled back in a ponytail, and you can see some of her implants under her eyes. She looks like she could still take on the 5 of you easily. She was an experienced solo and, you know, an experienced terrorist. She has the gun trained on all 5 of you, but she doesn't look like she's very angry. And you see in front of her, there's a low table in the center of the pit. There are a few data pads in there, a few screens, and like you see the cameras from the club. Like, she saw you talking to the bartender. She saw you coming up.
I mean, if you really wanted to stop us, I thought you would have at least sent someone to block the elevator from us accessing this.
Thought y'all were interesting. I've heard about some of you. She looks at X and says, "Didn't take me too long after your little conversation downstairs to look up information on the infamous Justice Mime."
Oh, well, I guess I'm not as anonymous as I thought I was.
Oh, don't worry, your secret is safe with me. There's only me and my runner who knows about it. Well, and these two, but they're not allowed to talk unless I address them first.
X is just going to peer up at one of them. Is that true? Are you like one of those, like, beef eaters or something?
He grunts.
Cool. I can respect the type.
From up close, you would also see that the man with the leather vest, like his entire chest has been oiled. And he like reflects some of the light. The rest of you I've seen a bit before. Hanging around. Living your lives. Working with Arasaka. Mind telling me what that's about?
I don't know nothing about that. All I do know is that I have worked and fixed shit for you too, so I've fixed shit for a lot of people.
Yeah, that
No
was
one-
before.
There's no one here on Arasaka's payroll. Period.
So I guess you never took their offer when you met with their rep at the sushi restaurant.
Isn't that the place I got shot?
That's one of the places you got shot.
Yeah.
But your information is misunderstood. There was no offer made at the sushi restaurant from him to us. I made him an offer he couldn't refuse, not the other way around.
Ooh, so you have the pull to get Arasaka loyalists, or ex-employees, or however they want to call themselves. So you have them in your pocket. That's interesting.
Not in my pocket. We have a mutual understanding. I don't put people in pockets. It's rude.
So long as that understanding doesn't interfere with my business. We're clear.
I have no reason to have anything to do with your business.
I feel like I'm being a bit impolite. She puts the gun down and says, "Come on, come sit." And she motions for you to, sit down in the pit with her. The two men will just get up and basically flank Rogue side to side in back of her. Like they're standing up while she's lounging in the pit.
Ooh. Power position. Nice.
It's all about appearances. So there was a shootout at my bar yesterday, and all of a sudden I have a group of edge runners come in and ask for information. I don't think you were part of the hit squad. So you're not people coming here because you've been betrayed and left to dry without a paycheck. Did they kill someone you know?
No. And Jinx will pull out the wanted poster and point out Makoto's name. I don't recognize that name. I don't know why that name's with mine and my uncle's. But it's our understanding that she was here.
Rogue takes the poster from your hand and just looks at it. Wasn't here when that happened. She hands you back the poster, and it's not Night City business. Well, I should say business in Night City. I have a friend who's a high-profile nomad. Well, friend is stretching it a bit. Son of an ex-partner. Anyway, he did tell me that there were a few undesirables that made their way to Night City, looking to end a feud. I suppose you're part of that. This Makoto name. Oh, this Makoto name on there. I mean, it's not a unique name, but it just so happens to be the name of a little orphan Annie that showed up at my doorstep about a year ago. If that's her, I'm sorry to tell you that she was taken last night.
Okay. But I want to know what the connection between her and me is on that wanted poster. So I can tell you right now, the wanted poster is wrong as fuck, but that's another thing.
All I know from her is that she used to be a corpo, then she ran with the Shiv, then ended up here trying to start clean anew. I didn't manage to get much out of her, but from what I know, she used to be a what do you call them? Corporal botnet runners. Did you have any dealing with the Ruff and Shivs before?
No. Steered clear of them, actually.
I can tell you right now that it's not the Shiv that came in to pick her up last night. look to be more the work of professionals. Here. And she types a few things on her datapad, flips it over, pushes it your way, and you would see like 4 different camera angles of footage before the attack. One of them points to outside. It's basically filming like the street and the entrance to the afterlife, and the 3 other ones are inside the club. The thing is they are exactly placed where the grenades were fired. So on those, I'll start with them. You see this group of 3, we'll call them mercenaries, dressed in black, look like your wannabe edge runners, typical. They come in, they blow up the 3 cameras. Right before they blow up everything, you see in a few places around in the club, some people start pulling out their weapons. You know, no provocation, no anything. And Rogue says that, you know, this confirms that they had planted people here already. Now the other one, the last, the 4th window, the 4th footage, shows them, the 3 of them come in. They're on foot. They walk, they chat with the bouncer for a couple minutes, and then they head in. There's 2 men and a woman. And, of course, blah, 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 they come in, they fire the grenades and everything. And then, when they go out, the woman is limping. One of the 2 men is holding his arm. The other one is carrying Makoto on his shoulder and running. And other people are following, like covering their rear and firing into the club. The bouncer was, because I forgot to mention, when they exit the club, the bouncer was about to punch one in the face, but the other, like the mercenary, the one carrying Makoto, was faster and basically elbowed him like in the bridge of the nose and sent him flying down onto the pavement. And they left. Thing is when they left, just like White saw, you know, there was the black AV vehicle, but it's not those 3 that came in. They dropped Makoto on the ground unceremoniously, and people from the AV came out, took her, and brought her in. And these people were dressed in your typical corporate extraction team. In fact, can all of you make all of you except for Black Cat, make a concentration check. (14, 20, 18, and...
Trying to find it on my sheet.
Oh, top left in your skills.
Oh, there it is. Very top.
13. The 4 of you actually notice a familiar visage inside the AV. Sitting in the AV, not... what was I going to say? Not participating in the kidnapping or anything. But you recognize the face of Kiyoshi-san. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode. Before we finish, I will just add, for your speculations, that Rogue does not recognize him. She did not from the footage. You did. So while she knows that you've perhaps had dealing with him in the past, she didn't recognize him this time. I'm saying that now in case I forget, like next week.
Interesting.
But that is our episode today. Some good old investigation leading to probably a lead into what's going on with Jinx and with the Ruff and Shiv. And now with Arasaka, question mark? Let's go around the table. We'll do reverse order as we did the introductions. If you have anything that you want to plug, dear players, please do so. I will keep my spiel for the end. And so we will start with our Nomad Jinx.
Hi, I'm Ren. Play Jinx. I'm processing info. Yeah, you can find me here on Fridays. Only here. That's all I do. Every Friday. And yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Chris.
Yeah,
Where can we
everybody,
find
you know me. I'm Chris Geary. You can find me at Chris Geary on Twitter. You can find me here on Fridays as Dr. Frost, aka Mr. White. You can find me on Action Fiction with O Adelaide over on or for the Falkenstein Affair on every other Monday. So not this upcoming Monday, but the next Monday is when we will have our next episode. There's only 3 episodes left. Come check us out and enjoy the role play of the Fab Five Femmes, as I like to call them. And that's all I've got right now.
Next up, we have our a cappella singer, Anino.
It's a bit of a stretch. Hey, my name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. You can catch me here again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for the next installment of Scion, in which I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll figure something out.
Hannah, where are you? Where can we find you?
Okay, I am Hannah, Hanimation Art on Twitter, Hanimation Studios on Instagram and Facebook, and just plain Hanimation here on Twitter. Twitch. It's late. You can find me here every Friday, 8:30 p.m. for Cyberpunk Red, and Saturday, 1 p.m. EST for Scion, Birth of the New Gods.
And last but not least, we have Deirdre.
Oh, hey, all. You know me. I'm at Deirdre on Twitter, or Prexorth as me for you see me around on Twitch. Oh, I loved hanging out with this crew. I love my Friday Cyberpunk fans. It's a thing. I enjoy it. But as for me, you can find me next over on my channel on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Romance of the Blue Rose. There's something in the mist and questions to be answered, I guess. Also, awkward flirting. And then Wednesday, back on my channel again for some Witcher Roads Home, or my Golden Age of Witcher campaign. People are probably headed to Bellhaven this week. Questions about things that they've found out. Maybe, possibly, still looking for a guy. Or a dwarf in this case. And we'll find out what happens next. But other than that, check my Twitter because I always post where I'm going to be and all the wonderful, fabulous people like these fine folks I get to play with every week. And I'll see you next Friday.
And as for me, I am Simon at Wandering DM. Thank you everyone for coming tonight. Thank you players for taking the time to play in this game every week or so since the very beginning. Thank you so much to all of you who came by to watch. Thank you to our sponsors, Mage and Press, Roll20, Found Familiar. Thank you so much to Art Elsorian Games, and you can find me, like Anino and Hannah said, tomorrow at 1 p.m. for Scion over here on the Wandering DM Twitch channel. Then on Sunday, like they just said, for Romance of the Blue Rose at 8 p.m. on her channel. There will not be a Rime of the Frost Maiden on Monday, as we are in the mid-season break. We'll be coming back next week with a giveaway and a bunch of surprises, and then you can catch the last 2 episodes if you don't have enough Cyberpunk Red at the moment. The last 2 episodes of Team NPC over on Unmade Gaming for Cyberpunk Phoenix. Just so you know, for all of you who are watching for the first time, all of my Cyberpunk games take place in the same universe, so some of the events that happened tonight or last session have, have consequences over there for the others as well. So you witnessed the attack on the aftermath of the attack on the Afterlife today. But if you want to see the events leading up to that, you can go watch last session on Unmade Gaming. And on Thursdays, we have the last 2 episodes of Cyberpunk Red out on a limb, an incredible campaign with a brilliant cast. It's on the Sirenscape channel. You do not want to miss this out. On that note, thank you everyone, and stay safe, and we will see you next week. Ciao, Chumbas.
To me, you're